All right, good evening. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the City of West Sacramento's Environment and Utilities Commission. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
General administration function, presentations by the public on matters not on the agenda. Do we have any presentations?
There are no presentations.
Thank you. Do we have any commission communications? No? All right. Consent agenda, consideration of the approval of minutes of the June 10th, 2019 Environment and Utilities Commission. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So our regular agenda is consideration of support for Council Resolution 1985, supporting a statewide commission on recycling markets.
Hi, good evening, Vice Chair Cordano and Commissioners. The purpose of this presentation is to provide you with a brief description of the current situation with recycling markets and to gain your support for a resolution 19-85. The Integrated Waste Management Act of 1989 requires local governments to divert a minimum of 50% of generated waste from landfill. More recent legislation requires or sets goals for diverting 75% of solid waste. Thus far, the state has been successful relying on Asian markets for recycling our recyclables, but these markets are rapidly disappearing. As a result of these declining markets, recyclable commodities are now being stockpiled at facilities throughout the state. And the Waste Management has told me that our recyclables generated here aren't currently being stockpiled. We have had to recently reduce the number of items we accept in our recycling program. And we're working with them on an outreach campaign to reduce contamination and basically educate the public. And recently, there has been a call to action to form a statewide commission on recycling markets. The proposed commission would be tasked with identifying domestic markets for recyclable commodities and identifying funding sources to build the infrastructure necessary to recycle and to develop outreach, a statewide outreach campaign to promote waste reduction and proper sorting. The proposed commission would report to Cal Recycle and would be made up of industry stakeholders and representatives from city and local governments. The formation of this commission has received widespread support from local governments throughout the state, and locally the County of Sacramento and Yolo County have passed this resolution and submitted it to the governor. And there is no known opposition from industry or local governments to the formation of this commission. Staff believe formation of a recycling commission could be fundamental to resolving the current recycling crisis facing the industry, and is asking for commission input and support for council adoption of Resolution 19-85. This concludes my presentation, and I'm open to your input and to answer any questions.
Do we have any discussion from the commissioners? Question?
I'm in favor of this. I think it's a very good thing for us to be doing. It's certainly been affecting people nationwide, and just yesterday, I know that in Sacramento, they lost one of their major recyclers. They just went out of business. So,
Yeah, I also am in favor of this, considering the difficulties we're facing with the restrictions in China.
I've actually seen quite a few news reports about this, so it's interesting that it's something I was actually aware before before this, which is not usual. I know that one of the biggest problems they said that is caused is us not recycling properly. So, taking the lids off, taking the little plastic ring off and all that. So is that going to be part of the education process? Or is it possible that there's maybe equipment or processes that can be done? Because I just don't know how diligent people will be in the long run if recycling becomes that much more difficult than it already is, We're kind of, convenience people.
Yes. So, so both. I think China has restrictions on contaminants, and so there has been a push to reduce the amount of contamination that's arriving at the sorting facility. And that has resulted in us restricting the acceptable items in recycling, just to simplify the message. So new messaging is going to be clean bottles and cans, clean paper, tin foil, and glass.
I know also in some other, I believe it's Placer County, I believe they don't sort their recyclables. The waste management does it for them. Does that result in more successful recycling, or do you understand what I'm trying to,
yeah.
Yeah.
I am familiar with that.
Okay.
Actually, so much of their material is so contaminated that their diversion is lower than we have here.
Okay. So it's a better success rate, and still depending on the people to do the recycling than the service. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Can I address that?
Anything else? Okay. You got it?
I move that we adopt the resolution as proposed.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Actually, excuse me, the motion would be to approve moving it to council. You can't adopt the resolution.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to clarify that. Thanks.
Make a recommendation.
So we have a motion to recommend this to the city council.
Yes.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much for your time and
Thank you.
support.
All right, general administration part 2. Our environment and utilities calendar, our next regular meeting will be on October 14th, 2019. Do we have any reports from the city staff?
Yeah, just one item I want to bring to your attention. At the August 21st City Council meeting, there is an item that will be on the agenda discussing a reorganization of the Public Works Department. And I want to just mention this because it potentially could impact staffing for this commission. My division will be moved out of Public Works and moved into Community Development. And at this time, the commission would stay with me as the secretary, so we may in the future have a different person as the clerk. So I just wanted to mention that to you. So that's the plan at this point, because the way the department is splitting, it'll be an operations side, and then another side would be engineering and transportation, and my division didn't really quite fit in either of those, so we're moving to community development. Just wanted to give a heads up about that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Future agenda item requests by the commission? Any requests? No? All right, if that is it, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everybody.